Hello, welcome and good day to you. I'm Sean Riley on behalf of HomefulSolutions.com, investing to end homelessness. In this video we're going to talk about how some of the homeless are actually falling through the net and the red tape that surrounds homelessness. Without further ado, this is the video, here we go. Right, now, have you ever asked the question, why are homeless people actually on the streets and not in shelters? Have you ever wondered why homeless people on the streets sometimes beg for money? And people can say it's because of drugs, people can say it's because they need to eat, but think about it. Why have they got no money? Why don't they have any money coming in? They must have some kind of welfare or benefits, right? Well, actually, no, not for everybody, and that is the red tape I'm talking about. There's reasons why people are not on benefits and welfare if they're homeless. There's also reasons why they can't get access to shelters and hostels. There's other services that they can't get access to. Mental health services a lot of the times. Doctors are they're becoming more difficult nowadays to get access to your GP than it ever has been before. And if you are not living within a local area of your surgery, that becomes a problem. So if you're homeless, that's a problem. Now, what is this red tape I'm talking about? Why are so many homeless people falling through the net? Well, it's all to do with your legal title. Your name all in capitals on your letters. See, when you're living at home, every service you access, everything you do in your life, you're always answerable to your Mr. or your Mrs. or whatever your name is. You've also got supporting documents to actually start accounts for things and to get rent and all kinds of things. You know, the legal system is so complex, but it all starts with having a postal address, doesn't it? You're aware that you can't pay anything without a postal address. Well, if you can't pay anything without a postal address, does it not make sense that you also can't receive money without a postal address? You need to have a postal address to have a bank account. Now, there's some people who are homeless haven't got bank accounts, so they can't receive benefits, they can't receive welfare. The same problem, not the bank accounts, but the welfare and the benefits, that then affects homeless people who want to get into temporary accommodation, into shelters and hostels, because they have to do a housing benefit application form to even be able to stay there. Now, most people might not know this, and to be honest, it might seem a bit silly. You're thinking, well, there's a charity out there, they're getting all this funding, why will they not just take them and let them stay there and not worry about the money? I don't know. Personally, I really don't know why it doesn't work that way. If it was me running the service or the charity or whatever, I would find an external way to fund the building so the housing benefits issue is no longer there. What a lot of them do is they will allow homeless people to use their address as a temporary postcode while they put in a benefits claim, so they can get the housing benefits. Now, that doesn't really help them when they're still on the streets for another 6 weeks until the money's processed. So that's another way that red tape really causes problems. That if you don't have a birth certificate, if you don't have a bank account, if you don't have some form of address and you are on the streets, you're screwed. It takes outreach services to actually provide solutions. It takes people like you, people like me, to go around the streets and say, hey, is there anything I can help you with? There are some birth certificate services going on. I know Shelter do it. There's Street Support in Salford. They do it for people who are local to Salford. The rest of the UK, I'm not really too sure, but it is worth checking out, giving Shelter a ring if you know somebody who needs a birth certificate for legal purposes. So this red tape is happening all over the show. Another type of red tape that really gets my goat is all the empty buildings that are scattered around Britain right now. There's hundreds of empty buildings that could be turned into shelters. There's hundreds of buildings, churches, all sorts that could be used. The space is not getting used overnight. It could just easily be converted into night shelters, particularly in the winter. So that's one of my beliefs, that the red tape is really holding things back. And you might have seen on the news when people take over empty buildings and they squat there, and then the police come by force and they force them out back onto the streets. They come with riot police and chains and dogs and helicopters. It's like a big private gang or a private army just to stop some people having somewhere to sleep at night. this kind of thing is wrong and we need to make changes within this nation, within this country and within government. Now, I'm not no politically minded kind of activist, yeah, that's not who I am. But if I see a petition for this kind of thing, I'm sure they'll get my name on it because it's something I believe in, and I'm sure you do too. So, I'm going to call it a day with this video because you get the point that the legal system really blocks progress for somebody who's homeless. So if you have any ideas how you can actually assist people overcome those obstacles, you're actually really going to make a difference and an impact to people's lives. So without further ado, let's just end the video. Leave your comments and your thoughts below. I'd be interested to see if you've got any red tape solutions, as it were, or anybody who's found solutions to it that you've heard of. Drop links, drop your comments, drop your experiences. I'd love to hear from you. In the meantime, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell button so you don't miss a trick, and follow along. I'll see you in the next video.